All right, let's dive in. We've got this video all about credit repair, and wow, it's pretty relevant with everything going on with the economy right now.
Yeah, definitely timely.
I mean, did you know a bad credit score could end up costing you like tens of thousands extra on a mortgage? I had no idea.
It's a lot more than people realize. And, so many only start thinking about credit repair when they're already in a tough spot.
Right, when it's almost too late.
Yeah. But this video really makes the case that it's important for everyone, especially now with, all this inflation and the interest rates going up. It's putting so much pressure on people's finances.
I can totally see that. The View actually mentioned how this economic stuff is leading to more people missing payments and their debt going up. It's like a chain reaction almost.
It's a domino effect, right? One missed payment can snowball into a real problem. And that's where, understanding the real cost of bad credit comes in.
Exactly. And they use the example of buying a house, which kind of get home for me, literally.
Yeah, big purchase, big impact.
So let's say you're looking at a house, like a $300,000 mortgage.
Right.
If you've got good credit, you might get an interest rate around what, 4%?
Right. But if your credit score is lower, you could easily be looking at 6% or even higher.
And the video said that over the life of a 30-year mortgage, that could mean paying an extra. Wait for it. $70,000.
70,000, that's crazy, right?
It's a huge difference. Makes you really think about it. And it's not just houses, right? Car loans, any kind of loan.
Absolutely. Any kind of financing you need, it's going to be way more expensive with a lower credit score.
So basically, good credit saves you money.
Big time. And here's something else that's kind of mind blowing. Even small differences in interest rates can really add up over time because of how interest compound.
Unfoti, hold that. Break that down for me a bit. Compounding interest. What's that all about?
So basically, it means you're not just paying interest on the original amount you borrowed, you're also paying interest on the interest that's already built up. It's kind of like
Interest on interest.
exactly interest on interest. And well, a higher the interest rate, the faster that debt grows, even if you're making your payments regularly.
Whoa, that's wild. It's almost like a snowball effect, huh?
Exactly.
Speaking of mind-blowing stuff, this video totally got me off guard when it mentioned employers checking credit scores. I always thought that was just for like financial jobs or something.
It's definitely more common in some industries than others. Like, think about roles involving finance, obviously. Also, security clearances, government jobs, anything where you're handling sensitive information.
Makes sense, I guess. Like they want to see how responsible you are.
Yeah, they're looking for signs of financial stability, basically, which, it does raise some interesting ethical questions.
Right, like how much should your credit score really say about you as a person?
Exactly. But we can maybe save that discussion for another deep dive.
Another time, for sure. So, besides ending up with a ton of interest on loans and maybe missing out on jobs, what else is a bad credit score going to affect?
Well, it can impact a lot of things. Think about insurance premiums. Those could be higher with a lower score. Even security deposits for apartments, those could be larger.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and even things like getting approved for a cell phone contract or renting a car, it can all be more difficult.
It's almost like your credit score has become this like measure of your character in a way.
It really has, yeah. It's a fascinating but also a bit unsettling aspect of our modern world.
Totally. Okay, so we know bad credit can cause problems, but what can we actually do about it? The video had some pretty good advice.
Yeah, for sure. They talked about checking your credit report for errors, which is super important.
Right? Even small mistakes can make a difference, like a wrong address or something.
Exactly. And you have no right to dispute any inaccuracy if you find, so don't be afraid to do that. And speaking of old stuff, they also talked about the credit card debt trap.
Yeah, that whole thing about how people are using their credit cards more and more just to cover their everyday expenses.
It's a tough cycle to break out of.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to credit utilization, right?
Yep, that's a big one. It's basically how much of your available credit you're using at any given time. And the higher that percentage is, the more it can hurt your score.
So the closer you are to maxing out your cards, the worse it looks.
Basically, yeah. It sends a signal to lenders that you might be overextended financially.
Got it. So let's say you're already kind of stuck in that situation. The video mentioned a couple of things: paying down your debt, which seems obvious, and maybe looking into a credit repair service.
Both good options. When you're paying down debt, you want to focus on the high interest accounts first.
It's like credit cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And credit repair services, they can be really helpful for navigating the whole credit reporting system.
Because that stuff can get confusing.
But oh yeah, it can be a real maze. But just make sure to do your research and pick a reputable company.
Good advice. There are definitely some shady ones out there.
Unfortunately, yes. Always be cautious.
Well, this has been a real eye-opener, honestly. Credit repair is clearly about a lot more than just fixing past mistakes. It's about, like, taking charge of your financial future.
That's exactly it. It's about understanding the system, knowing your rights, and making sure your finances are working for you, not against you.
Absolutely. And the best part is, even small changes can make a big difference over time.
That's the encouraging thing. It's never too late to start.
You know, I'm feeling pretty motivated to check my own credit report now and make sure everything's in order. This has been super insightful.
Glad to hear it. It's always good to be pro.